Hey, you prismatic bards and bardettes. Welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt.
And this is it.
52, everybody.
52. This podcast is now older than my dad, who has been 28 for, I don't know, almost 30 years now. So that's pretty old now.
That's pretty old.
Yeah, the podcast is. My dad's, he's 28.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. That's
look, I don't know. That's what the cards say. That's what everybody says. I don't know.
We have something special today.
Ooh, very special.
Oh, very special. We know how much everybody loves that sweet, sweet homebrew.
Homebrew time!
Oh my God, we're gonna have an entire episode of homebrew.
One homebrew, please.
Yeah,
boil one up.
All
right.
We're
So listen,
talk,
all you guys listen to this. I need you to get your kettle. I need you to get your homebrew. I need you to heat that water and pour it over that homebrew. Let it filter through. Steep that homebrew a little bit, and we're gonna jump right into it.
All right. We each
and
have.
by we're gonna jump right into it, I mean I'm going to interrupt a few times. That's how this works. Have you not been on YouTube? By the way, this episode is brought to you by our sponsor,
Rage Shadow.
No, we don't have a sponsor.
We don't have a sponsor.
Don't worry. I don't know if you were worried or not. But if you were, then don't. And if you weren't, then do?
Anyway,
I don't know if they should be worried or not.
We each we're just gonna kind of go back and forth, I think, introducing some homebrew that we did not really curate.
We didn't curate it strongly, but I think we've got enough that we can skip any.
We can skip
any things that start to look whatever,
right?
That don't hit us with that homebrew stank.
We need that homebrew stank.
We need that homebrew stank.
Yeah. What do you got for us first?
All right. Ring of Attunement.
Okay.
This is it's a magical item.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I like ones that play with different mechanics. Nothing messes with your attunement. Isn't that weird? Either an item needs attuning, so you have to attune to it to use it, or it doesn't. There's nothing that changes your attunement, though. Like, stops you being attuned to things, or says you can be attuned to more things.
Right. Other than being an artificer, which does allow you to attune to more magic items.
Yeah. True. That is true. But this ring also allows you to attune to one more magic item for each ring that you're wearing, each ring of attunement. It also requires attunement.
Right. I've seen this before.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. So
I love it.
It requires attunement.
So you lose a slot.
And then but you get one.
You get one.
Because you can attune.
So you can have as many of these as you want.
And you
can have one for every toe.
And they're magic too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you felt like walking through a metal detector today? No, it's not happening.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry. That was from user PM me your crits. I like that. So yeah.
PM me your crits. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Actually, by the way, after this, I if you could in any way PM me the items that you used, that would be super handy. The items you talk about?
Yeah.
That'd be super handy.
I will do that.
All right, awesome.
For sure. This comes to us from I'm afraid to say this out loud. I feel like it's one of those things where when you say it out loud, it says something that you can't tell what it is until you say it out loud.
Say it backwards out loud first, and then that should kind of tell us whether it's that.
Inchkachka.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know what that is. Wait, how? Okay, can I look at this word?
Sure.
No. Okay.
It's at the top.
We'll just say we couldn't pronounce their name.
Okay, can't pronounce their name, but they have 6 necromancy spells.
Anyway,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, 6 necromancy spells. I didn't look at any of these ahead of time, but the names of them are fun. We've got a vampiric transformation. I assume that's a spell that makes you look and do things like a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
A ghoulish transformation, same
This
idea.
is like a necromancer druid.
Yes,
or
sort of.
Yeah.
There's one called Gevorgyn's Merciful Death.
Oh.
Where a willing creature that you touch dies.
Oh.
That you can use it to end the suffering of a creature that just wants to die. This one is called Troll the Dead, not to be confused with Toll the Dead.
Right.
Where an undead creature that you control gains regenerative powers and regains 10 hit points at the start of its turn. I think that's each time. I think this is this is a concentration spell. So at the start of all of their turns. 10.
Right.
There's also the Hungering Grasp of the Torturers. Sounds neat. 10-foot radius sphere, not a spear. The spellcasting modifier.
Now we can skip that. It's too complicated.
It's too complicated. Okay. Vengeant Return.
Mm-hmm.
This is 9th level. Holy man. When you die, your soul escapes from the body and in 1 hour seeks a corpse somewhere within 500 miles of where you died. That's a long ways. You then animate that corpse and become a revenant. You retain all mental ability scores, any spell casting abilities that you had in life, but otherwise gain abilities, attacks, and stats of a revenant. Yes. Oh, if you die again, the rejuvenation process repeats with a new corpse within 1 hour until the duration of the spell has elapsed, which is 13 days.
So
you have 13 days where you can basically not really die.
Okay. I like that.
It's very Orochimaru.
Yeah. I don't die very much in D&D.
I don't know if those spells I don't know if they're necessarily for player characters. I wonder if they're more for bad guys.
That would be a good use for them.
You know?
Anybody who dies is pretty much bad in my book.
Anybody who dies is bad.
Pretty much bad in my book.
In your book?
Yeah, if you've not read my book, it's coming out pretty soon. You should probably start reading some of it. You're also contributing.
Oh, the one that comes out next month.
One that comes out next month.
Yeah, sure.
We pushed it back.
Right.
And I'm glad we did because now it's September, whatever. And man, it's going to take a lot more work.
Yeah.
Sorry to all of our Kickstarter backers.
Or any work.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's a good way of putting it. It could take any amount of work.
Any work.
Any amount of work.
And we haven't done that yet.
We have not done the amount of work that's needed to make it finished.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is to say none.
Yeah. No, there is no amount of work that can make it perfectly finished. I understand what you're saying.
Right. What do you have next?
All right. So listen, I've got a potion here.
Okay.
This is by my boy, Corvin R.
Okay.
He calls this a potion of luck. Another person called it the potion of extreme luck. I like the potion of extreme luck, and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You drink this potion, and for the duration, which is a minute here, anything that requires a D20 instead requires a coin flip where a heads is 20 and a tails is 1. Now
Ooh,
that's
boy.
some fun stuff right there.
That is fun
That's
stuff.
some fun stuff right there. So I don't know if this is going the same way in everybody's heads, but this makes it very swingy. Swingy. You know what I'm talking about when I say swingy, Matt?
I do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do.
So I'm talking about like you can easily steal defeat out of the jaws of victory using this item.
Yes.
You could just get right in there and whoosh, I got it. But you could also right the other way around. If things are going bad, this could be the jolt that you need to get back on track. It could. We don't know. But I like the idea of messing with entire dice. I like that.
What if, man, imagine if there's a player who's downed and you cast it on them when they're making death saving throws.
Well, it's a potion, so they'd have to drink it.
But it lasts for a minute, right?
Right.
So if you drink it,
if you drink it and
then
then die,
go unconscious,
or go unconscious,
then that's scary.
or not.
Well,
you have a 50% chance of succeeding on the.
That's true. And really, it's a lot more forgiving than that, because if you get a natural 1 on a death save, it's an auto fail for 2 death saving throws. But if you roll a natural 20, you automatically regain consciousness at 1 hit point.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
you get
basically 2 chances,
2 tries of.
if you fail once.
You're expected within 2 flips to get 1 heads. I would take those chances.
Oh, sure. You're expected. Yeah, you're expected to.
That's the expected value. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the right. Now, the other thing that I like, though, is like, all right, so rolling to hit something. That's pretty good. You get a pretty good chance of critting. Suddenly you don't need to worry about things like advantage or things like that, right? Because I guess advantage could still work. Imagine just flipping 3 coins and like taking the 20. If you get, no, you probably can't get double advantage.
No, you can't.
There's not really a way of doing that, but
no, yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. So you just flip 2 coins, and like if either of them is heads, there you go. But if they're both tails, you get 2 ones, and you just missed.
Yeah, yep, and that's it. Yeah, it would stink for disadvantage, like a lot though.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
But that's what makes it extremes.
Yeah, and I do like the extreme luck sometimes in D&D. Like sometimes you want your weapon to do 3d6 damage, but sometimes you want it to do 1d20. You know? And you're like, all right, I for that chance, the slight chance of the 2 extra damage, I'm gonna do it. I'll take the 1d20.
I rolled a 1.
Oops.
Wop wop wop.
Couldn't have done that with my 3d6, but I also would probably roll better. I mean, there's a chance that I'll roll better than the 9, which is I guess that'd be 10.5, I think I guess would be the average there or something.
10.5 for a D20, yeah.
Oh, no, for 3d6, I mean.
It
would be.
Oh yeah, it's still 10.5.
That's weird, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Is that why they Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, though.
Okay.
Wait a minute, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll think about it later.
All right. I think I know what you're thinking about. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's one of my homebrew that I have later.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah. All right. What you got now?
Okay. We've got Lab of Inspiration. This is a spell, a cantrip called Rent.
Okay.
It requires a silver coin that the spell consumes.
Right.
So you hurl a silver coin at a creature within range, making a ranged spell attack.
Right.
The coin disappears. But on a success, you choose one non-magical item that you can see on your target's possession. The item teleports to your hand until the end of your next turn. Afterwards, it then teleports back to where it was. So you rent the thing from them.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah.
So the item must fit in your hand or be something that can be wielded. You can't alter it in any way. And if the item takes damage, it goes back to where it was intact.
That is awesome for because some of the things that I was thinking for campaigns and things that I'm running
Mm-hmm.
are going to involve very powerful weapons that if you used that on the person using the weapon, they'd be out of luck.
Now, the only problem with that is,
Hmm.
if it's a magical weapon, this specifically says that it only works on non-magical items.
They don't necessarily need to be magical to be very strong, though.
No, that's true.
So,
I'm just saying.
and there are some things like that
Yes.
that would be in this in some of my
I don't think a
settings.
trebuchet could fit in your hand, though.
You don't think so, but my next spell,
Oh, like an Ant-Man type deal where
yeah,
it like weighs the same, but it's tiny.
yeah, no.
Oh,
But
sorry.
although actually no, I was not no, I was thinking of a character who has a hand ballista.
Oh,
That
yeah.
could be fun.
Like in Assassin's Creed 2, the best Assassin's Creed game.
What's the hand ballista like in that?
And I was joking.
Oh,
It's like the hidden blade, but it's a gun.
oh, okay, yeah, no, that's different.
Right,
That's a gun,
right.
right? Okay, here
So your next one, yeah.
I got you some homebrew.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went to the store today and I got chicken nuggets, potatoes, and the highest rated spell on D&D Beyond.
Oh,
It's called AAAARGH. It's a bunch of A's, RGH. It's by Dude Rob 92.
okay, dude, Rob. I got you.
Uh, basically, what you do is when you cast the spell, your target starts screaming uncontrollably.
Mm.
They can't cast any spells during the duration, and anything within 10 feet of them is deafened because they're screaming so loudly.
Arg.
Yeah. Actually, I don't see the duration here, but I think it doesn't matter right now.
No, I wouldn't say that it matters too much, but
No.
uh, that's useful. They can't cast spells that require verbal components,
Yeah,
which is a lot of them.
it's useful and also flavorful. And I
Yeah.
think that's why it's so pop. I mean, because the name is really good too. Um, there's probably some other reason that it's popular, like it shows up in some kind of famous campaign or something that I just don't know about.
Right.
But I don't care. It has its own merits.
Right.
So I'm gonna say that. I think it could be. It's a super useful spell. There's not a lot of downside to it. Uh, but it's mostly very fun. So if you get the right mischievous character for this spell, that's it. That's it. It's a good match. It's a match made in wherever matches are made.
Uh, Limbo.
Sure.
I think matches are made in Limbo.
I thought it would be like, I don't know, Minnesota or something.
Uh, Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
That's where matches are made. So, what about this creature?
No, I'm not ready for it. Okay, go ahead.
It comes to us from Tamlin123. So let me just tell you, it has pack tactics and sunlight sensitivity. You all know what that means. But also, uh,
Wait, no, what is it?
I haven't said yet
Oh, okay,
what
okay.
it is yet.
Pack tactics and sunlight sensitivity.
Okay.
Okay.
So a creature that perceives any creature that perceives this creature
Mm-hmm.
has to make a DC 5 intelligence check. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So unmodified, that's a 20% chance that you'll succeed. Or no, 80% chance you'll succeed.
Okay.
Unmodified. On a failed check, the target is wholeheartedly convinced that they are looking at a normal human being and may not repeat the ability check.
Fair enough.
But
Okay.
on a success, you can see that this is indeed 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
Right. Just stacked on top of each other. So whenever 3 kobolds in a trench coat receives damage or are knocked prone, they must succeed 2 DC 10 dexterity saving throws. And on a failure, they split up into 3 kobolds, each having a third of their original hit points.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Tactical split up. As a reaction, these 3 kobolds in a trench coat can use Toppled Tower to split into component kobolds, making an attack aimed at them automatically miss. So they can use their reaction to make it miss automatically.
Yeah. But then they're in their split form.
Right, exactly. And there is no ability here for them to reassemble into.
Well, they wouldn't. There's no reason to do it.
Right.
Now, if you guys out there listening have not seen 2 trench coats and a kid on YouTube, I'm gonna humbly request that you have to go watch that right now, whenever you get a chance, immediately, because oh boy, it's good. It's good. You're gonna like it. I'm gonna like it. I like you. You like 2 kids in it? No, 2 trench coats and a kid. I said it backwards. I ruined the whole thing. All right. My next spell. This is a spell.
Okay.
Power word Yeet.
I saw you scroll past it, but I don't know what it does.
J Baxter 031 has given us this beautiful spell. You need to, of course, it has a verbal component. You must say Yeet. What it does is any creature, or not any creature, a creature in range, is thrust vertically at terminal velocity.
Okay, that's quite the yeet.
If they have less than 120 hit points, there's not a save or anything. It's just if they have less than 120 hit points, they just go up. If they slam into something, they take 10d6 bludgeoning damage and they're stunned.
That's quite the bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. If they fall the entire 200-foot distance that they are launched, they take 20d6 fall damage, which is bludgeoning as well, I guess, basically. But there's no resistance to it, I believe. It's not like an option for that. Although I guess there should be. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you're like a raging barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
then you technically would have resistance against that damage. Yeah.
Now, so 20d6 damage. I want you to notice that 20d6. That means that the maximum hit is 120.
Yep.
So with a perfect roll, you could take them out.
Yep.
At the highest hit points that the spell works.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't say what happens at 120 hit points. It just says what happens if they have less or if they have more.
Oh no.
J Baxter 031, how could you?
You betrayed us.
Yeah. So that one's from D&D Beyond. And I noticed on D&D Beyond, a few of the things get a lot of the attention.
Yeah.
It's not really built in a way where you can get a lot of traction for stuff, I think.
No.
Unless you're Matt Mercer, in which case you're going to be near the top of the page.
Exactly.
It's just how it is. It's how it's got to be. But yeah, I found some good stuff. All right, let's keep going. What you got for me?
Okay.
You got any good homebrew?
I do. This is this is an interesting. I will posit this to you.
Don't you dare deposit anything in me.
We're gonna put a link to this. I'm sure we're gonna put a link to all of these, but
yep,
this one will necessitate a link.
Mm-hmm.
So the current distribution of stats to class is kind of wacky.
Okay.
For example, So there's 6 stats are strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, charisma.
And saving throws.
Right. Those are no.
What?
Those are the stats. Okay, so you may notice that both classes have 2 saving throw proficiencies. Actually, interestingly enough that you mentioned saving throws.
Right.
And a lot of them overlap. So like barbarian and fighter, it's strength and constitution for both of them.
Right.
And for ranger and monk, it's dexterity and wisdom. For wizard and artificer, it's constitution and intelligence.
Mm-hmm. That's at least right for artificer. I don't know about wizard.
Sorcerer and warlock are charisma and constitution.
Yeah, that's
right.
enough of them though. But yeah.
So this is basically a chart that proposes a way to make it so that there is one class for every pair.
Ah.
So it changes what some of them are and then adds some new ones because there aren't enough.
Ooh. What are the new ones?
The new ones are a psionic character.
All right, and that's intelligence and charisma?
Intelligence and wisdom.
And wisdom, okay.
Intelligence and wisdom. And that's the only new one, actually, because the rest of them actually make sense. But if you look at it, the fix, quote unquote, so to speak, that this person proposes, this is swingsetpark, by the way. User swingsetpark. It makes a lot of sense. And it keeps some of them the same, but changes a lot of them around.
So that's for saving throws that it's balancing, or saving throws and ability score increases?
Well, you can pick
Like that sort of thing.
You can pick any ability score increase that you want.
Well, I think my class gave me something like plus whatever intelligence or
your class.
Something. I thought so.
Your class did not. Your race does. But your class.
Yeah, I know my race does, but okay, I can't remember.
No, I don't.
Maybe my class let me pick. I don't. It doesn't matter right now.
That's not usually the case.
You're not usually the case
because you like you have certain score requirements to be able to play a class.
Right.
So it's like the opposite. The class doesn't give you anything. You have to have something in order to play the class. Anyway, my one that I think is a good fix in particular is strength and constitution for a fighter. Strength and dexterity though for a fighter, that makes a lot more sense.
Yep. Right? Especially when the constitution is then, I guess it's strength and constitution for barbarian, right?
For barbarian still, yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because like that's their whole deal.
That's their whole deal, yeah.
Yeah.
And they moved artificer over to strength instead of constitution as well.
That's weird, maybe?
I don't think so, because they're like forging dudes. They're like
but they don't have any use for strength though that I've seen yet. At least not an artillerist.
Well, yeah, right. Specifically that subclass.
But. Yeah. Or the alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was the person's name?
Swingsetpark.
Something.
Yeah, Swingsetpark.
We'll workshop it. Swingsetpark. We'll talk this out. Because you probably thought it through better than I did in just the 2 minutes I've heard it. So you probably know a little bit more about it than I do.
Maybe.
I got a spell for you.
Okay.
Thanks to the user Flyingdoombunny on D&D Beyond. You summon a commoner in an unoccupied space, whatever. It's called Summon a Guy. And if the guy drops to 0 hit points, it disappears and returns home. Or if it's outside the material plane. Otherwise, it crumbles to dust when it hits 0 hit points. I don't know if that's important. Anyway, the guy is friendly to you and your companions, but won't fight unless attacked.
Okay.
He'll obey your commands unless they put his life in danger.
Uh-huh.
And he'll answer questions about his personal life.
Okay. Yeah.
If you lose concentration, he doesn't disappear. Instead, you lose control and he enters a panic attack.
Oh, okay.
If you can't console him, and I would imagine that would use charisma, he will sob or attempt to flee until killed or until the spell's duration, an hour, ends. Yeah, anyway.
You just summon a guy.
You just summon a guy.
I like how it has a lot of the same mechanics as like Unseen Servant
Mm-hmm.
or like Find Familiar and stuff like that.
But it's just a person.
But it's just a guy.
Yeah. You shouldn't really be able to do that.
What, just summon a guy?
Yeah, but I like the idea because I love the idea
Uh-huh.
that the bad guy uses this and they roll you. They roll one of the characters. And you just show up and they're like, "What? What?" And you're like, "What?" And they're like, "What?"
And then they try to kill you and you just end up back where you started.
I think you crumble to dust.
Oh, what was that thing about dropping to 0 hit points and going back to where you
That's
were?
if you're outside the material plane. I think what the rest of that sentence meant is that it crumbles to dust if it dies. You know what? It might be a made up person. That might be what it is. I don't think you can summon
an
already
actual
existing
person.
Yeah, I think it
makes up a person.
Conjures a person. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, how do we know that
With
we're
a
not
full backstory?
We're not the. How do we know we're not a person that was just conjured up by something like this?
Well, the duration's an hour. Oh wait.
Yeah, but how would we know that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I.
What if? Yeah,
I don't know if I've been alive for more than an hour.
Exactly.
I think I have.
Yeah, but that's what this spell does. It creates a backstory, like an entire life for the person.
Wait, are you telling me that I am this?
No, I'm saying, what if you and or I are this?
What? Are you saying I am 100% this? Like, this is true?
In fact, this could just be a memory still, and we haven't even been summoned yet.
Oh my God.
And we're like pre-remembering it before we're summoned.
Oh no.
Dude, there's another Matrix movie coming out. Keanu Reeves is in this one again.
Wait, what if he's just one of these?
I know. Probably.
That doesn't blow my mind as much though if he is. It would kind of make sense. It would explain a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
like about how he has a tragic backstory.
Does he?
Yeah.
Like Keanu Reeves does?
Yeah. His girlfriend and child died in a car crash or motorcycle accident or something.
Oh man, I did not know that.
I mean, that's like the tragic part of his backstory, I guess. I don't know if the whole thing is tragic. He has a backstory though, and I'm sure he's been disappointed many times in his life.
Right. Man, I need to try to shake Keanu Reeves' hand before his hour is up.
Yeah, exactly.
I never thought about it in all my years until now.
Yeah.
That Keanu Reeves might only have an hour left.
Right.
So,
wait a sec. Wait. Okay, so story potential stuff here.
Okay.
What if the spell is a higher level spell?
Okay.
And everybody else in the world is convinced that this person existed the whole time and continues to exist after the spell is over, even though they just don't know where they are.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, because if you were on the other side of the spell and you summon a guy, when it crumbles into dust at the end of the spell's duration, you'll be like, hey, remember when I summoned that guy and talked to him and then he crumbled away?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you summon the guy,
Okay.
And everyone's like, hey, remember when we all grew up with this guy? I wonder what he's up to now.
Oh, so after he crumbles to dust, you're like, oh man, that guy was great.
You just
He was my
don't, like,
friend.
nobody knows that he did that. Nobody knows he crumbled to dust.
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just, that's why he crumbles to dust. There's no corpse or anything. It's just a bunch of dust.
Yep.
So ZeddiJay.
That name sounds familiar.
ZeddiJay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
ZeddiJay, do I know you from somewhere?
Maybe.
Did we go to high school together?
This is a bag of
I
holding.
think there was a guy named ZeddiJay in one of my classes.
But it's a used bag of holding.
I have seen this one.
Okay.
I've seen this exact one. And I love it.
So every time you put your hand in,
Yep.
you grab something that seems completely useless, but in actuality, this bag was enchanted by a wizard who gave it the power to give the holder whatever it is that they need most in that moment. So you pull something out and it seems random.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing magical, I'm sure, just mundane objects. But
Right.
you pull out exactly what you happen to need for that moment. So not what you were looking for. That has a lot of story potential.
I could see it being like, you know, you meet this cute maiden at the bar or whatever.
Yeah,
at the tavern.
Yeah, meet cute. Yeah.
Yeah, meet cute. And she's just like, hey, and you're like, hey. And then you reach into the bag and pull out some contraceptives. and you're like, wait, I didn't put this in there. And then she's like,
I love a man who's prepared.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
There you go.
There you go.
It worked.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All right, that one doesn't have the most story potential, but look, that's just what I was thinking could happen. I don't know.
Right. I was thinking like you're walking down the street and you reach in there and you want to get a bag of potato chips and you pull out a gun.
And you're like, whoa.
Well, yeah.
So what? Okay, what if?
Uh-huh.
What if there was what if it wasn't what you need, but what you need? In that, like, you are required to do something. So you reach into the bag and you pull out a gun, and then you get this feeling. Like you got to go somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And maybe you don't even remember it clearly afterward, but you seem to recall pulling the trigger. Was there? And you reach into the bag and yeah, that person is still in there.
The person is in the bag?
The person that you apparently shot.
It sounds like a great murder mystery. Isn't there a show about a lady who has tattoos and amnesia, and her tattoos are all about clues to who she is and where she came from and what she's doing?
Is that what the girl with the dragon tattoo is?
No, maybe. I've never seen Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. I don't know.
Me neither. I have no idea what it is.
No, it's the TV show that took Ashley Johnson away from the Critical Role campaign for a while because she was in it.
It's not that then. I have no idea what that one is.
Right.
Okay.
That's all I know about it. I don't remember what it was called.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Also me neither.
What's
if
next?
it helps. Oh yeah, I guess it's my turn.
It's your
next.
turn. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'll get you one.
Yeah.
Give
This
me
is the best
something
idea
to
we've had
do.
yet.
Yeah, I think it might be. Eventually, it would get really hard to find stuff, though, if we just kept doing this.
Yeah, this is a good one-time thing.
You know what? I didn't read this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and I think it's good.
Okay.
It's Lavore's zone. I don't know who Lavore is. But maybe it's a D&D character. I don't know. Zone of Truth or Dare.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's in case you don't know, it's a play on Zone of Truth, which is already a spell.
Right.
This one's by JamesHaeck.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can say your last name, James. Basically, you make this talks about like immunities and stuff. I don't care about that. The targets, if they fail the saving throw, they either have to choose truth or dare. Clearly. If they select truth, it has to answer a question that you ask truthfully. So basically, zone of
Zone of
truth.
truth, yeah.
The creature knows about it and it can answer evasively, but it needs to say something truthful. If it selects dare, the caster can compel it to perform a task limited to simple commands.
Like the command spell.
Yeah, like a sentence or two. As long as it doesn't risk the harm to the target. So you can tell them to take off their clothes. You can't tell them to jump in front of a train.
Yes. Like the command spell.
Like the command spell.
So here's where I tell you
Mm-hmm.
that Lavore is the surname of Jester Lavore of Critical Role Campaign 2.
Oh, okay. Is it a critical role spell or is it just
No.
made up? Okay.
This is made up, but I think probably not a coincidence that is named this way.
Almost certainly not.
So, and is also the kind of thing that Jester would love. But also the name of the person. I mean, I might be wildly off with this because I only have a vague inkling that this might be the case. But I think that user might be related to the Critical Role cast in some way. I feel like I've heard that name before in a different context.
Maybe. Let me see who is that user again.
Yeah, didn't you say it was it Justin or
James
James
Haeck.
Heck?
Haeck. HAECK. I mean, it's like an actual first name, last name, which makes me think that it could be a
An actual person.
person.
Yeah, James.
None of
Heck.
the other users on this site are real people. They're obviously all, they're all
No, that
guys
name
who were summoned.
That name sat for an hour.
Yeah,
That's what they did with their hour.
That's
They
what they did with
they
their
made
hour.
their homebrew, and then
some of them got pretty in depth with their hour. Let me tell you.
They put the work in. Those are type A summoned people. So
he was a real go-getter for an hour.
Man, and we think that we don't live for a long time. It's like a Meeseeks from Rick and Morty. You probably have not.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty.
Those of you who've seen Rick and Morty, they're like Meeseeks. Except an hour is probably a long time for a Meeseek.
I know what Meeseeks look like, but
right.
That's it.
And then they're like, oh, howdy, I'll help you out with that thing. I just want to die. That's what they're like.
I get it. I totally get it.
Cool. Anyway,
we've all been there.
I like the thought that this is a spell that is two spells in one, and the other person gets to decide which one it is.
Yeah. I think that is a fun thing, isn't that?
Yeah, isn't it cool? I like it. They literally get to pick which spell was cast on them.
Yeah, that's cool. By the way, it's a zone and it shoots out in a cone in front of you, so you can target multiple people.
Affect multiple targets. Interesting.
Yeah, so you can definitely dare them to do some embarrassing stuff, like with or to each other.
Oh man, to each other. There's a save, right?
You can make them pants each other or stuff. There is a save. Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
If they save, neither spell works, but if they fail, it's whichever one you choose, or
whichever one they choose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I also like that it really doesn't have utility. It's really just for fun.
It has utility, as much as Zone of Truth does, but slightly less.
Well, no, because they can't hurt themselves, and they get to pick whether or not they tell the truth or do something else. So
yeah, but you could always.
Well, you could use it on like a regular person, I guess.
I mean, all right. So let's say you're up in the Vatican talking to the Pope.
Okay, talking to the Pope,
and you ask him a question that you need the answer to or whatever, and he chooses dare. You say, "All right, take off your clothes and stand on the balcony." That's it. He's done.
Yeah.
You've effectively killed this man.
Pope no longer.
Right.
No,
so
doesn't. Yeah, where's your bulletproof vehicle now?
right.
Yeah,
Well, I just meant you killed him because like his job is gone, and
right.
he's also 80 something. So
And he's not wearing clothes.
he's not
He
wearing.
could catch
He
pneumonia
could catch pneumonia instantly.
instantly. I mean, instantly
I wonder how many popes have died of pneumonia though.
at his age. Protoman Protoman underscore Z96. I think we've seen this guy before. Has the Ring of Weight.
Wait, how's it spelled?
WEIGHT.
Okay.
Yes. So it weighs an ounce
Mhm.
while you're wearing it.
Right.
While you're not wearing it, it weighs 200 pounds.
How do you put it on?
Until you put it back on.
How you pick
I
it up?
think that once your finger crosses the threshold.
So like it's on the ground and you go like bing and it's like, all right, I'm
yeah,
light.
right. I think.
Ooh,
Yeah, I know you don't like that.
I
Yeah.
just had an idea.
Okay.
Well, okay, this is gonna give it away, but
Okay.
at some point I need to play a character who also can't wear rings.
Just because
I won't give away anything yet.
Just
but
because that's your thing.
yeah, I can't wear
Okay.
them. So why can my D&D character wear them?
Oh, so like if you get a cool magic item that's a ring, your character's like, no,
Nope, can't put that on.
not wearing that.
Mm-mm. I
Even if it's the most useful for you.
yeah, that would be super helpful. I love the idea of that thing. Can't put it on my finger.
I wonder if you can still attune to them if you wear them like how you wear your wedding ring, or like in a bracelet situation.
Maybe the bracelet can attune to it.
And then you can attune to the bracelet. And then it only takes up 2 attunement
Well, and
slots.
plus, if we're looking at it that way, like if it crosses the threshold, he could have like a ton of these up his arm and then just put his finger in one like this to use it. That counts, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because of the way that this specific spell is worded.
Right. Yeah, I know, but I think maybe that's just how rings have to. That's the only way that we can explain their magic.
Oh, also, this ring doesn't require attunement.
Oh, okay.
This isn't an attuned thing. It's just when it's on a finger, it weighs an ounce. And when it's not, it's.
So what if you put a carrot in it?
I guess you'll have to try. That would be the kind of thing that the DM would figure out.
All right, but like I mean like a baby carrot.
What if it's not true? What if it only weighs an ounce when you're actually wearing it, and every time you drop it on the ground and it like cracks the pavement, you have to get out like a drill and like drill into the ground.
And then you have to put it all the way through.
Stick your finger all the way into the hole.
And then once the seal is there,
yeah,
then suddenly you're like,
okay, yeah. Okay, there we go. Now
yeah,
it works.
I think either way could work.
Right. It's a cool idea, though. I like the idea. You know, you could instantly pull a Rock Lee situation. And like pretend like you're some super cool guy who's been wearing a ring that weighs 200 pounds the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you definitely could. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun. All right. Do it. Do that today.
Dude.
All right. My next one I got for you.
Okay.
Most Vicious Mockery.
Oh no.
By the username is anime hair, but there are numbers instead of letters for part of it. You'll see.
Yep, I got it.
All right. In order to cast, by the way, it requires. This is an interesting requirement. It requires a fine piece of art depicting the target.
Okay.
And it must be worth at least 500 GP.
Okay.
So like this is a serious piece of art depicting the target.
Yeah.
I like that. That's so fun. It's a very targeted spell.
Okay, yeah.
You have to really do your homework in order to use this one.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. I love it.
To cast this spell, you must learn a deep insecurity or humiliating secret about your target.
Yeah.
Then, when you go to cast the spell, you reveal that secret and insult them.
Mm-hmm.
If they fail a wisdom saving throw, they take 4d8 psychic damage and have disadvantage on attack rolls for a minute. Additionally,
Wow. Okay.
over the course of the next year, any creature that heard you declare the insult during the casting of this spell will have perfect recall of that moment. This effect carries over to any creatures not present who hear the story secondhand, potentially causing the tale to propagate aggressively. Oh my gosh.
He picked this one based on the title, and because that's what our show is called,
Right.
that is the best one yet.
It's so good.
That's amazing.
I just love the idea that you're in combat with somebody and you humiliate them so deeply that for the next year straight, it's all anybody can talk about. It's all anybody can talk about. Because, all right, so listen, a thing that I've been thinking about is like, not everybody's going to fight you to the death. That's not like, not everybody's all about that.
Yeah.
Your target might want to survive this combat encounter, right? But if you pull this on them, that has effects on them after the combat, regardless of whether they've survived or not. Well, I mean, if they didn't survive, it doesn't really affect them, I guess. But maybe they won't come back as easily because people know how much you humiliated them and you revealed their secret, and everyone's
they
like,
don't
"Oh,
want
it's
they
their
don't
secret."
want to come back. No.
Yeah, maybe they don't want
Yeah.
to come back. But no, like either way, like this is a way to because there are certain enemies who you'll fight and they'll be like, "All right, I'm leaving," and then they'll come
Yeah.
back and they'll fight you again, and they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm leaving." This is it's such a beautiful way to conclude an arc like that, right? To conclude this repeated foe, you humiliate them.
And they're like, I don't want to deal with
I'm not
these guys
dealing
anymore.
with these guys anymore. But no matter where they go, they can't escape from it.
Yeah.
They can't. There's nothing they can do. Everybody knows.
Hey, aren't you that guy that, and they're like, oh no. They moved to the other side of the world. They moved to a different plane of existence. And people are like, hey, you're that guy that, yeah.
Actually, it's a good way to start a face turn, I think. To take this character, like I'm talking wrestling terms, where they go from being a heel to a face turn.
Okay.
Is this landing on everybody?
Nope.
It doesn't seem like it is. So I'll
Nope.
tell you, in wrestling, pro wrestling, WWE stuff, which I've never watched, but I know the term here. The one who everybody wants to win the fight and everyone is rooting for is called the face.
Mm,
And the one who everybody wants to lose and is rooting against is called the heel.
that makes sense.
When you are a face, you have to turn into a heel at some point, because otherwise everybody will just want you to win forever. And that's
Right.
actually boring. That's actually not good. It's not good for the storyline of the wrestling, right?
Right.
Like it's not a good way to do it. So instead, people will turn from heel to face and face to heel and so on. And that's a good way to think of it with NPCs in Dungeons and Dragons is like, are people rooting for or against this character? Once you've humiliated them that utterly, I think people are going to start rooting for them if they hear anything more about. They will start to feel pity for this person, as long as they haven't done anything too atrocious, maybe. But then you'd probably have killed them, right? Like you would track them down and kill them because that's revenge fantasy or whatever. I don't know. People just do that in D&D.
And you'd be able to find
kill
them.
more people then.
You'd be able to find them more easily because they're recognizable because people know their thing that they.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like they're going to be able to get away from you forever. So now you've got this person who is in permanent shame, basically. They can't get away from you no matter what they try to do. And you've beaten them in a fight. So you can win. So now people are going to start to root for them.
Oh, man. And then the party turns face to heel.
Yeah. You were the baddies the whole time.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh, mamma mia. A pizzeria.
Have you got one more homebrew to really take us home?
I'm gonna take us home. I have a lot more homebrew, and I think only 2 of them are any good, and they're both short. Can I do both?
Yep.
They both have the same, like, je ne sais quoi, you could say.
I can't say that, but yeah.
All right, this one's ModerateZansaku. ModerateZansaku. Uh, this is a spell called Roll the Bones.
Okay.
It is a first level spell, but can do a lot of damage if done right. So this is like a domino effect or like a push your luck kind of spell.
Mm.
It's like saying hit me on blackjack when you're at 19. You know, like you're really pushing it, man. So
That's really, really, really pushing it.
right. Maybe 16 is more of
Yeah, okay.
yeah, because that's dicey.
That's very well, it's Cardi, I guess. It doesn't
It's
matter.
Cardi. All right.
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Yeah, from Fast and Furious.
So you choose a creature within range, and then you roll a d8. This just happens, by the way. There's no save. So you roll a d8. If you roll a 1, then you take 2 necrotic damage. But if you roll a 2 through 8, like any other number other than 1, then you do that amount of damage to the creature.
Okay.
So if you roll a 2 necrotic damage to them. Or you can choose to then roll a d6. Same thing. If you roll a 1, now you take 4 necrotic damage if you roll a 1. But they take the number that you rolled plus the d8 number that you rolled necrotic damage. Or if you succeed on that roll, you could do it again on a d4. Same thing. If you roll a 1, you take 6 necrotic damage, but anything more than that, they take everything added together so far. And it doesn't even stop there, because then you can flip a coin. And if it comes up heads, then the creature takes damage of everything that you just rolled, added together, multiplied by 2.
So it becomes a crit.
Right, basically. But if it comes up tails, then you take 8 necrotic damage.
I was hoping that would be a crit too. I don't know if it's balanced or not without that. But I mean, it sounds pretty good.
This sounds like the
guaranteed 8 necrotic damage if you fail this thing. That's not fun.
Right.
And you're not really guaranteed that much damage against. Like you could do 6 damage at the lowest if you get all
2s.
Oh yeah, I guess it can't be 1s. All right.
No,
so
you
can do 6 and then it becomes maybe a 12.
12, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you see, I don't like to gamble with money, but something like this.
Yeah, I would gamble with my life.
Yeah. I'd gamble with my character's life. I wouldn't gamble with my own life, but I gamble with
right.
my
Yeah, no,
life.
that's definitely what I meant. Yeah, no.
Yeah, sure. This person says that this is a joke. This is for the next one.
Right.
This is user DnDPremiumHomebrew. They're really going out there and saying how they feel. So this is rolling for stats. And this is your sort of title convention. I think you'll really appreciate this. So they have the normal way, which is 4d6 drop the lowest. Then they have normal plus, which is 5d6 drop the lowest and highest.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then they have the chaotic, which is you roll 6d20, keeping natural ones. But then there's chaos plus.
Wait. So you roll 6d20, drop. Do you drop some? But
So you roll 6d20, and each d20 corresponds to a stat of yours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if you roll a natural 1, doesn't matter. That stat is 1 for you.
Okay.
Right. So like whatever numbers you roll, that's what you get.
Right.
But chaos plus is you roll 2d20 for each stat, and then you take the highest. Right. Then there's organized chaos. Roll 1d20 per stat, but on a natural 20, you roll a d4 and subtract that number. Or if you roll an 8 or a 9, then you roll 2d4 and you take the highest one. And then if you roll a 5, 6, or 7, you're going to roll 2d6 and take the highest one. And if you roll 4 or less, you just treat that score as an 8.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So then there's 10, 6, and 4s, which is you roll 1d10 and 1d6. And if the score is below 10, then you roll 1d4 and you add that until your score is 10 or higher. and then finally, there's Blaze It.
There we go.
That's the one you want.
Well, you know me.
Yeah, you roll 4d20 for each stat, and then you forget the highest one and the lowest two. So what do you think? What do you think about rolling stats with any of these ones?
They can all work. I like them all for different stuff. Actually, I did see recently one where you roll 6 characters and you roll their stats all in order, and you just keep the one that you like the best. Basically, like that was the method.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this would be these would all be good. I don't know. I like chaos. I do like chaos.
So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was for this campaign or a different one, but I know that Paul does that.
Mhm.
He'll just roll for like the 4d6 drop the lowest.
Mhm.
He'll just do that in order for the stats and then make his character based on that.
Right.
He does that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a fun way to do it too.
Yeah.
It's still creativity no matter which end of the creativity you're on.
Right.
That was fun.
That was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah. 1 year in the bag.
Wow.
So Austin and I, when we started doing this, we said we would do it for a year.
Yeah.
And then we would sort of reevaluate. So
yeah, kind of just decide if we wanted to keep doing this going forward or do
Or-
something different or what we want to do.
yeah, what we want to do. So
Now, what was the reason that we started it though? The reason that we started this, my reason for being like, hey, let's start a podcast was because we both left our jobs at the same time where we worked together.
yes, we were coworkers. We're not
We were
anymore.
coworkers. We're not anymore. And I was like, you know what? I got to stay in touch with him though. Why not? Just, create something that we're both obligated to do for the next year.
Perfect. What a way to keep rapport with someone.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked.
it did work.
It worked.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll continue to do something, whether
Mhm.
it's this or something else,
In this life or the next.
in this life or the next. Because
Till death do we part.
this was fun. So anyway, more on whether or not you guys will find out sometime soon, maybe, whether we're going to keep doing this or if we're going to do something else entirely or what's going on. But
Right.
this is either the 1 year anniversary of something ongoing or the last episode of this, and we'll see you at the next thing. Who knows?
Yeah. And the next thing will probably be here. It'll probably be in the same place if there's a next thing.
Yeah.
Probably going to be on the same YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We never really, I didn't do set up all the podcast streaming services. So I
We just never got to
just
it.
never got to it.
And
There was other stuff to work on.
you're right. So it just, well, it doesn't matter.
So, whatever will make this better is what we're going to be doing. So that's that.
I'm sure that if we listen to episode 1 and then episode 52, the difference is probably astounding.
Yeah, it kind of is. I did. I listened to some of episode 1 recently.
Did you?
Yeah, like yesterday.
What wasn't there something very wrong with episode 1? Like the audio quality was like extra terrible for some reason.
I think so.
I don't
Yeah,
remember. We
something like that. I don't know.
Anyway, guys, it was good. It was good. It was good. It's all good. More of this or more of something else. We'll see.